Alright, so today I'd like to introduce you to me. Today we get to talk all about myself and mostly three different characters or three objects that define who I am. These three objects, just in preview, are going to be the Peruvian flag. You can see that. A camouflage t-shirt, and then soap. So these three objects, as we go through it, you'll learn about how these three objects define me and give an example of who I am. So the first object we're talking about, once again, is the Peruvian flag that you see here. So my object, the Peruvian flag, the reason I've chose that is because I decided to serve a 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ down in Peru. Now, a mission, if you're unfamiliar with that term, is one where a young person is able to go down to a foreign country or even their own country, and they spend 2 years of their life being able to dedicate to somebody else and serve others. Now, while I went down there to Peru, I would say the most important part of it was the fact that I discovered who I am. I found a little bit about my own identity and met some of my lifelong friends that while they're in a whole nother world, I'll remember for the rest of my own life here. So to give you a story about Peru, while we were down there definitely teaching others and trying to serve and help people, it didn't mean we didn't know how to have fun. One of my fondest memories is a 4th of July we had down there where we all got together and we decided to burn a mannequin filled with straw and illegal fireworks, and then later that night had a bonfire on the roof, on the 4th-story roof of our building around a burning mattress. So we definitely had a little bit of fun even though we were out serving other people. But eventually, enough mosquito bites and a natural disaster later, I eventually came home. Which leads into my second object here, which is the camouflage t-shirt. Now the reason I picked the camouflage t-shirt was I love the outdoors. Anything outdoors with my family, we go kayaking plenty of times, we love to go hunting, hiking, camping. Anything outdoors, as long as it's warm, unlike it is now, you'll find me outside or spending time with my family. One of my most fondest memories of a camping trip was with a friend of mine. We went down to a spot down actually up Spanish Fork Canyon, and one of my friends decided to ignore the warning signs of an incoming storm. The clouds were getting really dark, but he decided that he wanted to sleep out under the stars because he loved the look of the stars, even though there was only a few because of the cloud cover. So later that morning, we woke up before him and we walked outside to see him sleeping in his little mummy bag full of water. And it was funny to watch him wake up and realize that it was soaked. He was completely soaked and his bag was full to the brim. His head was just peeking out of his mummy bag and the rest of his body was submerged. Um, he managed to air out his sleeping bag later, but it really taught us to the test of having good gear because he was in a cold sleeping bag, well, a water-filled sleeping bag all night long, but he didn't get cold, nor did the water leak out. So, some of the camping we love. Now the last object here that describes me, you've probably been wondering the whole time why it was soap. How is it that soap can really define me or be an example of who I am? Well, I cheated in this instance, because in this instance it's not actually the soap that defines who I am, but rather soap making. My wife and I recently took up soap making. We decided that we wanted to learn how to do it because it was a fun little hobby, and that is what defines me. A lot of the time I love coming up with new ideas, whether they're business ideas or different hobbies, and so much so that we have an entire room of our house dedicated to just different projects we have that we've yet to start or the results of some other ones. These projects can be something simple like soap making or even disastrous. Like I won't tell you the end of this story, but we decided to make a trebuchet once and launch things from it. Well, if you ever decide to make a trebuchet and you want to launch gasoline-filled milk jugs to act as little Molotov cocktails, don't park your truck too close to the trebuchet. But don't worry, everyone turned out fine on that one. So these were some of my fondest memories and some of the most defining characteristics. Once again, it was a Peruvian flag, a camo t-shirt, and soap. And so that's a little bit about me, a little about my defining characteristics, what I love to do, and hopefully you know a little bit more. Next time you see me in the halls or next time you find me on the streets, just remember I'm the soap guy.